COMS may have actually presented a bull trap here for some people. Actually did comment on Twitter and on a Discord early in the morning as the breakout was starting to happen. But I did try to warn you guys, okay? So there may be some upside for COMS or maybe some downside, but let's go ahead and verify that movement within this video. What is up, you guys? This is ARCa coming at you with a COMS Sovereign Holdings technicals, raw price action, and candle thread of analysis. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community, ARCab, in Discord. Okay, but with that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. We are looking at COMS on the 4-hour chart right over here, and this is right angle triangle or descending triangle that we've actually caught on the 4-hour chart. And I mentioned earlier in Twitter and on Discord that we could potentially be facing a resistance area right at this right over here. The funny thing is that I actually got a comment saying, why am I spreading FUD? My guys, come on. None of that. Okay, if you know who I am, if you're a new listener, you're gonna learn real quick that I am not the person for that. I'm not the person I actually don't care about where these tickers go. All of these things are done by request. So because they're done by request is why I want to be able to show the accuracy. Okay, you guys, I'm not over here going against the company or something. I actually am a short-term systematic based trader. So I don't look at fundamentals often. I short the ranges, I short psychology, I short the trend, and I long those as well. So just know that I can be able to do both. I'm short and long bias, so I don't care. Okay, you guys, please know that I'm not gonna express FUD. I know that the majority of retail is long bias, so I always try to find the things or find the opportunities for the long positions more often than I do shorts. Okay, but I do have a Discord, and in the Discord I've actually put plays to where we can short or where we can do some temporary long puts, but they're all short-term based. Okay, and if any of you are wondering, no, I am not a damn millionaire. Okay, freaking relax. Okay, anyway, so let's go ahead and dive right back in now that I got that out of my system, and I apologize, it's incredibly unprofessional, but whatever. So here we are on YouTube. Anyway, so yes, you guys, so when we're looking at a print like this, 4-hour candle is respectable enough for us to be able to call this maybe a reversal of signal or a reversal of trend. This is an inverted hammer printed at the top of an uptrend, which is usually a bearish sign. Okay, so now if you look back and you start to look at hammer candles, even if it's the hammer on top, which would actually be considered an evening star, doji. So in this case, you have what looks like an evening star right here, and then you have a downside or a capitulation event. You'll actually be able to see long wicked candles like this that signal a potential to the downside. Okay, so those things actually represent the weakness of the bulls and the bears taking control. So this is how I was able to see that some downside was coming. Okay, aside from the fact that we were at resistance. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and see what we have. Okay, so so this is now the daily chart, and as you can see, this daily candle printed as a huge inverted hammer, or this can also be a shooting star. Okay, so this doji candle can actually be used as a representation of what's to come for the next day or so. And since we're looking at it in the daily chart, this is actually very credible to consider for a continuation onto the downside, possibly corrective before upside. Okay, so now let's and not only that, you guys, so we actually touched the 2.618 at 13 cents. We actually used that as a form of resistance before continuing onto the way down, which is very much in confluence with our resistance level right over here. So it's at about 12 cents, and the recommendation here was at about 13 cents. So a lot of things are lining up as a huge form of resistance. The bounce that we got today was actually in respects to the 100-day simple moving average located here. So we actually used it as a bounce, and now we are retracing back from that bounce because it wasn't likely for it to be a breakout from that from this descending triangle. So know that this descending triangle actually does have a bullish price objective and a bearish price objective, of which I'm not going to go over because it's not relevant just yet. Okay, so in this case, if we were to I'm sorry, I'm just getting distracted by questions here. What the hell? Sorry, you guys. Just my goodness, you guys. Come on, man. I shouldn't have ever. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, the bullish price objective for this is actually acquired by taking a trend line from the hypotenuse of the triangle, which is usually at the top, to the lowest point of the triangle, and you apply it to what could be the implied place or the actual breakout place, which usually for these formations tends to be at around 70-75% to the apex of the triangle. In this case, we are getting a suggestion of about 27 cents, 27.66, which is quite a ways from here, and it's also in confluence with the 4-spot 618, which is very interesting since it is since this is a golden mean or a golden ratio. Okay, so the sentiment likes to take the trade usually to the 618 ratios, hence the resistance here. Okay, so and now we do have a 618 here that we can use as a form of support, but this may not be valid enough or alone. We actually may need the help of, on the daily chart specifically, we may need the help of the 7-day exponential moving average, the 10-day simple moving average, the 50 simple, and the 30 exponential. So either of those can actually be an area for support before continuation onto the upside. The interesting is that the 50-day, let me just make sure. Yeah, the 50-day moving average down here, the simple moving average is in direct confluence with the knot 618 at 7 cents. Okay, I know this is a huge drop over here, but we have to consider it, okay? But know that we do have several areas of relevant support. For example, here, the EMA 7 is in direct confluence with the 1-spot 272 at 9 cents, and also the one that we just used today. It has some confluence with the 1-spot 618 at 10 cents. Okay, next chart. Let's see what we got. Okay, so now this is the 8-hour chart, and you can see yet again another evening star doji printing. This is further validation that we can face some downside. Now, the 8-hour chart is the one that I may actually give a little more credit to as far as direction for price action. Let me just see real fast. This is today we actually used a 200-day simple moving average as a form of support, and also in the 8-hour chart specifically, you can see that the Fibonacci ratio 3-spot 618 was used as the form of resistance before facing some downside. So lots of 618 action happening here. Okay, so now I can potentially see us. If we were to face some downside tomorrow, then I can see the SMA 10 and the 1-spot 618 being the range of support. So that can actually be between 9 cents and it's actually within the 9-cent realm, so 9 and 10 cents. Okay, so if we continue on further to the downside, we still have some relevant supports, like for example the 786 at 7 cents. Okay, so now let's move on to the last part of the chart, because there is some form of hopium within this price action here. Well, I mean, today's was good too, it definitely up. Okay, so I have caught let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 brand new drives of of bullish divergence. And in this case, they are, let's see, 1, 2, 3 drives of regular phantom bullish divergence and 1 drive of bullish divergence. Okay, the phantom is made because we are actually going through the price action and it's actually harder to find. So that would make it a phantom drive. And this drive here is actually straight shot to the top. And that usually creates a drive of bullish divergence. So actually, I may actually have to make some corrections over here. But yeah, it's looking good so far. But I can potentially see that there is still some downside. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have to make some corrections over this. Okay, you guys, please don't take my. I did it last night actually when I was falling asleep. This is a 12-hour chart, and this is from the prior day. So we are on 12:1, and this is from 11:30. Okay, so I was actually very sleepy. So I'm going to be very honest with you guys. Please don't take this in accordance. I will definitely make a correction and get back to you on this, okay? So, yeah, but now let's open up a multi-pane, and this is the dangers of making sure that you do things while you're sharp, okay? Sometimes when you're sick, you may not be able to admit it that you know, your edge will be strongly diminished when you're facing psychological pressures or physical pressures or even fatigue. So you have to know to probably not trade when that's happening. Okay, you guys. So last night, I just want to be able to make sure that that retail has a good answer from me, and it's I know the requests are starting to get a little too gnarly, so I may actually have to start doing a live stream so I can get more tickers out of the way rather than working on them at 4 in the morning. So, all right, here we go, you guys. So this is going to be the 30-minute RSI immediate short term. These are the RSI properties that I have. So the 4 zones located here are actually these 4 zones for the new viewers and new listeners to be able to tag along. Okay, so the immediate short term is suggesting a continuation onto the upside. The purple line is actually the RSI signal. The pink line represents the 14-day moving average within any time period of the chart, okay? So it is suggesting upside, but however, the regular listeners know that when we're in these shallow areas of either zones, we're more than likely going to be faced with a rejection and dive right back into the previous zone. So this can actually indicate some immediate short-term sideways trading up and down for a little bit. Now let's get, this one's going to be a little difficult. Okay, so yeah, pay close attention into this because this is presenting a challenge. Okay, now the bi-hourly is suggesting a slight upside, while the moving average is suggesting it's almost neutral in direction, which means that this can potentially be used as a form of resistance. The moving average can be used as a form of resistance before finding some downside, and it looks very slight. So this can actually also suggest some downside or sideways trading. Or a combination of both, right? Very, very slow. It actually could indicate the possibility of lower volume. Let me actually look at that. The volume so there is in the 4-hour chart, there is an immense amount of sell pressure. Okay. And okay. So like I said, guys, this one's a little complex. Now the 6-hour chart is. This one is very much at the shallow zones of the bull strength percentile. Okay, so again, this is very likely to find a corrective move down into bull weakness. So this is also suggesting a potential sideways trading as well. This would be like in the mid session to late session, so we can actually see maybe a slight upside in the mid session. And now the daily RSI is suggesting a continuation onto the upside. It is quite a distance away from the moving average, and it looks like it's attempting to move outside of the shallow areas of the bull strength percentile. So if it does move outside of that area, then the likelihood of the upside is greater. Now, if it does continue within this shallow area, again, we are likely to be gravitated right back into bull weakness percentile. Okay, so in this particular case, I am not seeing a true edge in direction for the for the COMS asset. So, I've actually mentioned this a couple times before, but my mentor actually told me once that if you can't find that edge for your system or for your trade strategy, the best way to make money sometimes is to keep the money, to stay cash. Okay, so in this case, I'm not seeing the edge too clearly, but I do want to make sure that the longs keep an eye on their longs. Okay, so know that I'm not a financial advisor. I can't actually suggest for you to buy or sell any assets. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as a form of entertainment only. Do your own DD and we'll be okay. All right, you guys. But I think this is a pretty good place place for me to leave off the video. If you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to reach out to me within the Discord space or Twitter. I'll make sure to leave the links in the description below for you to consider joining the Discord trading community ARCa. Okay, so but with that said, I wish you a good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.